Menteri Rangba Kajala Conrad Kesangma Kesngi Balang Ula Kyntu ban Pynbeit no yagi Jingbakla badan Khana Pateng jong kathain sete lamingi pat penjenso ki polisi ki ban pensuk ika khayi ka Pateng pat kilat penyeso ya kathain pat kiri ki bamarjan. Menteri Rangba Kajala Ula krenya kene hawa pli ka United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific Sub-Regional Capacity Building Workshop for Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal Connectivity Kebalong Hatach Wiwanta Hashilong. Conrad ula ong bakajing pinyaso ya kathan sete lamingi kari India Shakiri ka East Asia but South East Asia kadai kawai na kimat bakongsan jong ka sarkar. Menteri Rangba ula pentibru bakathan sete lamingi lada kathan ka jam syakmat rengkat kala ban senyang shibun ya kathong jong kari ban penklain ya kayo ka kot jong kari. Ula banjuru baka Act East Policy kamde ya ka ban syukin kelum ya baro namar ula juong ba ula jukren nadu bastang baga Act East Policy kadai banjai da ka zone nethain ba don kam ban ithu katkum kijing don kam kithain ban la panya sekmat ya ka Act East Policy ki weipat ki bala ai jingkren ki thop yo Mexico Tanaka Director South and Southwest Asia Sub-Regional Office pat kiwe ki kinrem ki lindan
can be revisit the different products that can be sent, figure out how we can make the policies more simple so that people don't have to go through difficulties in doing the trade that they would like to do. And so that's like one very low-hanging fruit. Second very low-hanging fruit is the existing infrastructures that we have. Now the existing infrastructures we have, we are not using them. I was just discussing with Dr. Vijay that in Dauki, our trucks are parked outside on the road. Why should they be parked on the road? The ICP has come up, it has got 300 parking spaces, put it there. Then we start improving the road, we start investing in the roads, which will happen, it will take time. But at least the traffic management will become better. So therefore, somewhere, things are happening, but somehow everybody is not talking to each other. And therefore, things that are very easily doable and the current system, the current infrastructure, the current policies, how can we just make them a bit better and use what we have already to create value? Without having to go into 10,000 crore investment and $2 billion investment, well, that will come, we'll work on it. And that's why I keep telling people that, look, if you're just going to look at an ask, say, paisa nahi hai, nobody's giving us money, I think we're not going to make any start. Let us start. Let us start making small differences, small changes. Let us start meeting like this. And I hope that this meeting will be the next time we'll be meeting maybe in Bangladesh. Last time in 2019, I remember I had traveled by road and I wanted the Chief Minister of Assam, Chief Minister of Tripura, Chief Minister of Mizoram to travel together, 4 of us, drive from say Guwahati, go to Dauki, Tamabil, drive to Sylhet, drive to Dhaka, meet the people, meet the entrepreneurs, meet the youth out there. Next time then we decided that we should I thought that we should then take a trip to Bhutan, where all the chief ministers go together, maybe headed by the Ministry of External Affairs and others, or donor, or whoever. So I think these kind of interactions will allow us to, as I said, resolve these small issues and we can really change things. We were looking at some numbers, that even if you were to tweak these small things, we would be able to see for Meghalaya alone, almost close to 30 to 40% increase in our trade. Just small things like technology. Now we're not being able to do online transactions. No, towers being there. So because of the absence of towers, we're not able to do the transactions that are there. So if a tower comes up, and if the ICP is activated, if the policy, if simple tweaking is done, which are just simple investments of maybe 2, 3, 4 crores, 5 crores, and just some effort of policy change, we could see about 30 to 40% increase just for Meghalaya alone. Now imagine doing this for the entire Northeast and getting all the BBI and partners and members together to do this. This is what we are trying to do. And just mention a few points. First of all, we know the historic data that is there. And the historic data suggests that there was a lot of trade that used to take place between the regions and the countries, way before independence and all of that. And hence, something changed after the independence. And therefore, barriers started coming in. And hence, the clear indication, historical indication, is that there is huge opportunity, but something is going wrong. somewhere things are not correct and we need to fix it. So that is how this whole thought process started. Second, most important is that we have an agenda for our state. And the agenda for our state is that we want to double our economy, which is what Honorable Prime Minister has been focusing on. And we as a state, if all the states work towards it, we will achieve the national goal that we have. And hence Meghalaya wants to also do its part to contribute to that. And hence we looked at the trade. And you'll be surprised to know that the trade in terms of the quantity, in terms of the value, that we have, is with Bangladesh is $0.01 million. Now, obviously, that is completely incorrect. That means Meghalaya's exports to Bangladesh is $0.01 million. That's what the records show. So, therefore, there is clearly, as I said, an issue, and we need to resolve things. We need to increase those numbers, and if we increase those numbers or even rectify it, I want to also stress on this, that we rectify these numbers and we will see our numbers go up. So that's number 2. Number 3, I have been stressing again and again and again, and I can see that Professor Lama is out here. He's a dear friend of mine, and we've been always talking about this agenda, and he has been somebody who's been very much involved in the documentation of the Act East policy. And I have been advocating this from the beginning, that we cannot have a generic Act East policy. Act East policy has to be zone-wise. There is no Act East policy for Meghalaya, or rather there is limited Act East policy for Meghalaya and say Myanmar. There is maybe in the long run in some way or the other, but for Meghalaya it's definitely Act South. So therefore, how do we go about creating these economic zones where states like West Bengal, Assam and Meghalaya work in Zone 1 for the Act East, which is with Bangladesh. Tripura and Mizoram and Bangladesh again work together in Zone 3 with Bangladesh again, and say Zone 2 would be again Meghalaya and say Barak Valley. So we need to have specific zone-wise strategies to be able to take the Act East policy forward. So that's really the beginning of all that we were trying to do, and this is the background of how we started moving in this direction. And today what we are seeing is actually many meetings being held at Prime Minister's level, at External Affairs Ministry level, personally me going and meeting them, and of course our officials have done excellent work today, and we are here. So that's the background of how this all built up and why we are here. The question is, what do we do now? So to start off with, what we really are keen on doing is looking at the low-hanging fruits. There are some simple things that we can do that can start to change things, in the immediate impact.